what a weekend of Championship football that was yet again. The Championship never fails to disappoint, and genuinely so many statement wins in that game, and what a week we've just had of Championship football. We're going to be discussing the 5 things that we've learned from this Championship weekend, and genuinely, we have learned a hefty amount of information yet again. If you're a Championship fan, then do hit that subscribe button. We do daily Championship content, so if you're a fan of any club in the Championship, this is the place to be. Do hit that subscribe button. It only takes 1 second and you would definitely not regret it. And as well as that, if you do enjoy the video, do drop a like down below and let me know your thoughts on your team's performances in the comment section down below as well. I'll be very interested to get your thoughts, and let's jump into it. I mean, where do we even start with this? And I want to start off with my team. I want to start off with QPR and Coventry, because what on earth just happened? If you're talking about statement wins, I know we'll get on some more statement wins in a second, but this one is more of a statement from, I mean, it's a statement from both sides. It's a statement from QPR saying that we are going to be shocking this season and we are terrible. And it's a statement from Coventry saying we're not messing about, we are scoring goals left, right and centre. Put 5 past Derby, 7 past us. What is going on at Coventry City? And by the way, amazing news with Coventry City. When I saw the news, I was like, just spare it for another day. Just give it another 24 hours and announce it maybe. But Coventry City have now got full ownership over their stadium, which is amazing news. And it probably played a little bit of a fact in what actually happened, because it was such a good atmosphere over at Coventry. And of course, scoring 7 goals is always going to help that. But amazing news for Coventry City that they've got their stadium in a game where you actually look at the stats, right? If you take away the scoreline, of course, I'm gonna talk about the performance in a second. But take away the scoreline, you look at the expected goals and you see 1.27 to 0.61. I mean, if you look at that and you didn't know the scoreline, you think maybe what, like a 2-0 game, a 1-0 game. You think probably that, but no, 7-1, and absolutely embarrassing from a QPR perspective. I'm sorry, I've got to look at it from our perspective, where the manager at QPR, the Julian Stefan, has come in with this big reputation. You know, he's won trophies over in France, but the team selections for me are absolutely baffling. Like, I mean, I don't know what Fotmob's got this lineup here. We had Steve Cook at left centre back. Get him up right centre back. That's where he was last season. That's where he was better. He's too slow. His legs have gone. He shouldn't even be playing. We've got Mbengi on the bench, who should really be playing instead of him. Steve Cook looks finished. Morrison was an absolute... Those two at centre back were just an absolute wreck. I mean, from top to bottom, it was an absolute shambles. Let's be real. But the lineups that he's selecting, the way we're playing, we're giving the ball away in silly areas, countered, scored. There's no protection whatsoever to them 2 centre backs, who realistically Steve Cook's just too slow, and there's no protection whatsoever. We give the ball away. We're so open, and we just kept playing the same way. You think it gets to 3-0, you think, just shut up shop. Just call it a day. You know, we've lost the game. Damage limitation. Don't make it absolutely embarrassing. We kept playing the exact same. And you think, you're going in at half time, what is it? 5-0 down. I literally just gave up. I was watching it, but I was at it in the background. But 5-0 down. You think, second half, you know, we're just going to shut up shop here. Can't get any worse. 7-1. It goes to 7-0. And as I say, what's the manager telling these players at half-time? What's the tactic here? And why are we still playing the same way as what we were playing in minute 1? Which clearly wasn't working. And by the way, fair play to Coventry, because they absolutely put us to the sword. They didn't show any signs of wanting to stop. You know what I mean? It could have got to 4-0 and they could have just taken their foot off the gas. But they just kept going and going on the counter-attack. Jack Radoni we couldn't deal with. Victor Torp as well in the second half, bagging 2 goals. Thomas-Asante, everybody was eating in that Coventry. You look at the whole of the midfield and the forward, all got a goal contribution. More players got a goal contribution than didn't for Coventry City. That's how bad it was. And I can single out performances and say for Coventry, but every single one of them was outstanding. Matt Grimes controlled the game. Victor Torp got a really nice goal, which I thought Walsh should have done better. Radoni is just too good, honestly. He is literally like... I mean, it's hard to say if he's Premier League level or not, because there's such a big gap between the Championship and the Prem, but this guy is an absolute joke and he's Coventry's best player. Hadji Wright, our centre-backs couldn't deal with Hadji Wright in this pace all game long. And the goalkeeper situation with QPR as well. We've got Paul Nardi as our keeper, as our backup keeper right now. He was our first choice keeper last season, Nardi was, and he didn't really put a foot wrong. I don't know why he's not in goal. And I'm not blaming Walsh because we would have lost the game. Whoever's in goal, it didn't matter. We could have had whoever's the best goalkeeper, Donnarumma, whoever people say these days the best goalkeeper in the world. It wouldn't make a difference. Could have had a prime Neuer. No one's stopping it. No one's stopping us from losing that game. But as I say, he didn't make it. He made like 1 save throughout the game. Should have done better with a couple of the goals. And we need to bring Nardi back into the side. I think the manager just constantly is getting it all wrong. One individual positive, Richard Kone scored in his debut. That's one positive, and everything else is negative. You can't find anything with that performance whatsoever. So a diabolical start to the season for us, by the way. And as a QPR perspective, I'm looking at this and thinking, I said it in my predictions video, and that I think we'll be in a relegation battle, and I think we'll be down there. I don't understand why people have put us as dark horses. Some people have. I don't understand why people talk about our team like it's actually decent, because if you watch us play week in, week out, we've not been decent for a long period of time. So I don't really understand the kind of hype around QPR, and I'm a QPR fan. Right, where do we even go to next? I wanted to kind of discuss, actually, how the 3 newly promoted clubs just aren't really having it. I mean, the 3 relegated clubs, sorry, from the Premier League just aren't really having it their way in general. We'll talk about Leicester first. I'll talk about all 3 games. We'll talk about Leicester, who they beat Coventry. Yeah, I mean, they beat Charlton, yes, but they were very poor in their performance. I'm not going to lie. I think Charlton really were the better side in that match for large parts of the game. They had control of the game, and as well as that, they were creating a lot of chances as well. On another day, if it wasn't for Leicester City's goalkeeper, I don't even want to try and pronounce his name. If it wasn't for him, Coventry City walk out with a point there, absolute minimum. He made an unbelievable save as well. And honestly, as I say, on another day, Coventry City, I can't stop saying them. Charlton Athletic, they're in my head. They are in my head. Charlton Athletic would have walked away with at least a point at bare minimum. I was really impressed, and the performance was really good yet again from Charlton Athletic. And at the end of the day, it's one piece of individual brilliance from Fatawu, and that's what you get when you got players that are Premier League quality. They can just step up at any given moment, gets the ball, cuts inside, kills it into the top corner. It's like, what can you even do about that? When you've got a player of that kind of quality, there's a reason why Premier League clubs are interested in him, and I'd be surprised if you're still at Leicester come the end of the window, because he quite simply is that good. And obviously his injury last season was a big reason why Leicester ended up being as poor as what they were last season. So I think Fatawu needs to, for me, get a Premier League move. He's got that kind of quality, and he's a level above everybody on the pitch, even including all them Leicester players, where Leicester have got a lot of quality in their side. But Fatawu is that main guy, of course, and the goalkeeper as well was fantastic. Those 2 individual performances were quite simply the difference between Charlton and Leicester in that game. And if you're not going to take your chances, you're going to get punished against a top team like Leicester, because they're going to get a chance, and they're going to take that chance, and that's absolutely what happened there. Fair play to Leicester for getting the result, but as I say, they haven't had things their own way all season, really. You look at what happened with Sheffield Wednesday, they battled through, they got the win, they lost to Preston, and then they battled again and got that win against Charlton. They have got 6 points on the board, which is decent. By the way, what's going on with Leicester's points deduction? Are they actually ever going to get this point deduction activated, or is it just going to just be lingering all season? Because what's going on there? And then we'll go on to Ipswich next, where they lost 1-0 to Preston, and Preston now have done in 2 relegated sides from the Premier League in back-to-back games, and very, very good value for both wins, in my opinion, as well in the end. I mean, you look at the stats there, it doesn't even... I mean, the stats genuinely look like they got absolutely battered, but I don't think it was that bad of a batter. I thought Preston were very well worthy of the win, because I think Ipswich really did struggle to create chances. Of course, they're going to get chances here and there, but I think for the large part, Preston were pretty comfortable in terms of defensively in the game, and Ipswich, I think the winger situation with Jack Clark's really, really struggled under Kieran McKenna. Philogene as well also struggled as well. Midfield too, I mean, why is Kayuste not starting the game? I have serious questions as to why. Maybe it's Matt Sharpness, I don't know, let me know. But I feel like Taylor shouldn't be getting a full 90. And I'm asking multiple questions to this Ipswich team, and I'm starting to doubt them in terms of everybody's put them to be top of the league, to get 100 points. And honestly, every single one of their performances has been something to be desired. Every single one. They of course lost at the cup, but that's irrelevant. But then draw to Birmingham, I think that was a lucky draw. And against Southampton, it was an even match. In the first half, they weren't very good. Second half, they were. And as I say, they've just not managed to get a good performance all season. And Preston, again, done in 2 teams in a row. And Preston, with the signings they've made, actually are surprising quite a few people, including myself. And I might have got this one wrong, to be honest. I mean, it's obviously still early days. But I predicted Preston to be in the bottom 3. I think a lot of people predict them to be down there. Start the season really well. As I say, it's still very early days. But Preston have looked really good so far. Look good on the counter-attack as Mike's running in behind. Another goal for him. He started the season really well and looks to be a real talisman this season. Thierry Small has been really good over at wingback. Valentin as well. Fair play to Preston. They've been really impressive so far this season. Some of the signings are definitely working out. And then you also had the other game as well, which I really want to talk about. It was Southampton and Stoke, because Stoke running out 2-1 winners. And we were saying with Stoke, this is their opportunity to kind of make a real statement, because a lot of people were saying they've won the first 2 matches. It was against Derby, it was against Sheffield Wednesday. Let's put them up against a side that's going to be up there at the end of the season and see how they perform. And Stoke rise to the occasion yet again. It says in the stats that I think Stoke were very, very good in that game. I think Stoke deserved the win, in my opinion. But Barmer got sent off for a dive, by the way, which was like, I mean, I guess it was a dive. I mean, I don't know, I feel like it was a harsh give a yellow, but maybe it was a correct decision, let me know. Lewis Baker getting himself another goal. Fair play to him. And Sorba Thomas as well, by the way. Victor Johansson, who had a great game in goal for Stoke in the match. What a throw that was. That throw went for miles. Sorba Thomas picks up, and this guy is full of confidence right now. And what a season he's having. What a start to life at Stoke he's having. And Stoke just looks so threatening on the counter-attack. That pace that they've got in behind. Because they had 10 men, by the way, at this point, to have the desire, and for Johansson not to, he could have very easily just kept the ball in his hands and wasted time, or let all his players get into position, but he threw it straight to Sorba Thomas, that kind of confidence, and then Sorba Thomas runs through on goal, and the form that he's in right now, he's absolutely not missing that. And Stoke, again, fantastic. On the counter-attack, electric. Manhoof, pace. Sorba Thomas, pace. Mabama, pace. They got so much pace on the counter-attack, and going away to a team like Southampton, it actually played into Stoke's hands perfectly, playing on that counter-attack, and again, it's another good performance and another good result for Stoke, and Mark Robins might have turned the tide. It's getting to the point where I'm starting to believe at this point. I'm going to do a video a bit more in depth on Stoke, talking about them, but as I say, Mark Robins is starting to get a tune out of them. He's had his transfer window, he's brought in some of the players that he wants, and a fair play to Stoke, because they've been unbelievable this season, and they're the team now that is right at the top of the league with 8 goals scored, just the 2 conceded. They've got a perfect formula going right now. Long may that continue. We'll have to see how long they can kind of make that last. But as I say, I've been really, really impressed with Stoke this season. Pleasantly surprised with Stoke. We've got to get on to the Wrexham game now, because this was one of the results of the weekend. It might not be a win for Wednesday. And honestly, Wednesday will feel like they probably should have won that game. In the second half, they had a chance right at the end. I'm not sure who it was. But just before the full-time whistle, Wednesday had another chance. They were in on goal. And they had the chance. It's like 3 or 4 on 2 or something ridiculous. And just unfortunately didn't get the win, but it's a point on the board for Wednesday, and it's so much confidence they can take going forward in this game. Wrexham started the game really well. First half was all Wrexham. 2 goals for Kiefer Moore. Ethan Horvath in goal, by the way. I mean, of all players, of all goalkeepers to sign, obviously Charles getting injured is such a blow to Sheffield Wednesday, because he's been their best player in the first few games, you'd say. And to bring in Ethan Horvath, I mean, it's a signing. It's a positive they brought somebody in, right? But Jesus Christ, Ethan Horvath had a shocker for that second Kiefer Moore goal. And Kiefer Moore, of course, was being his usual self, a handful, and he always is that. When it did well to get on the end of the kind of the rebound that Horvath really, really should have dealt with. That was so poor. As I say, Wrexham in the first half in complete control, dominating the match. If we just go to the stats, can you get the stats of the second half? Yeah, the stats of the second half. Sheffield Wednesday absolutely dominated that second half. Absolutely dominated. Barry Bannon getting them back into the game. Who else? And by the way, Barry Bannon was outstanding this game. I looked at the stats, and this guy literally ran the show. The most passed in the game, created the most chances. Barry Bannon is 35 years old, and this guy is taking the piss. He's taking the piss still. It's unbelievable. He ran the show, ran the midfield in the second half. He was the guy behind that comeback, and that is what Barry Bannon is all about. And what a performance from him. What a performance from Sheffield Wednesday to come back. By the way, I want to say fair play to Wrexham as well, because they were selling their black and gold shirts and giving the money to Sheffield Wednesday Supporters Trust, which is fair play to Wrexham doing that, and fair play to the ownership for allowing that to happen. And lots of Wrexham fans helped contribute, and it seemed like everyone was in solidarity at that ground. It was a really good atmosphere in terms of both teams being together and being with Sheffield Wednesday, which is amazing. And as I say, for Sheffield Wednesday, all they can ask for the fans, from the players, is just to give their 100% and leave it all out there on the pitch. And you can't say that Sheffield Wednesday aren't doing that. They're giving 110% every game, and they're being competitive. Obviously against Stoke, that was a game where they did lose 3-0, but on another day they could have got a goal. And they've been really impressive in the other games. They've really battled hard, and this one, I think they deserve to win the match. And from a Wrexham perspective, you look at this and think, they actually got booed off at full time, which I think is crazy, because it's the first time they've been in the championship. It's their first championship point, and they're getting booed off. Yes, they should have won the match. Yeah, on paper they should be winning that match. Yes, they spent a lot of money. They got crazy net spend, which is more net spend than Chelsea, and it's disappointing. Of course, it's disappointing being 2-0 up, but to boo your side, you've got back-to-back promotions. I genuinely just think it's crazy, and it's so early days in the season. You've lost your first 2 matches, and they were against West Brom, who are a good team. And as well as that, you lost to Southampton with 2 90-minute goals. Not like performances have been diabolical. They should have done better in the second half here. But to boo your side off, I genuinely think it's just horrendous, because so many clubs would kill to be in Wrexham's position with the kind of excitement, with the investment, with the potential that they've got right now due to this ownership. I think to boo your team off 3 games in is honestly just horrendous. And Phil Parkinson, it makes me think of how much patience are these fans going to have? How much patience are these fans going to have with Phil Parkinson? You know, his record at Championship level, I've spoken about it many times, is something to be desired. Like, even worse than that, you know, he's got like the worst Championship managerial record in history. The Championship is a brutal league. The Championship is a hard league, and it's proven that for Wrexham. You know, Sheffield Wednesday will battle, and every team will come there and battle and try and make it hard for Wrexham. And at the end of the day, everyone wants to beat Wrexham. It's a bit, of course, they're going to have that extra bit in the game where you want to beat them because of the Hollywood owners and all that. You want to be beating them. And the team's going to go there, and they're going to make it hard for Wrexham. And it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be a breeze in the Championship, which maybe the Wrexham ownership, maybe Wrexham fans thought it was going to be more of a breeze. But I don't think it's going to be like that for them. And obviously, I think they'll be fine this season. The team's got enough quality. But defensively, they're conceding too many goals, too many easy goals. And it's not good signs for Wrexham. We'll have to see what happens with Phil Parkinson. It's definitely something to kind of keep an eye on in terms of that. And I mean, we've got to talk about this game here between Portsmouth and West Brom. And I don't even want to talk about the actual game, really, about the score, whatever. I want to talk about the referee. Because I'm sorry, as far as robberies go, as far as referees go, I don't know if you'll get one worse this season. I don't know if you'll get one worse this season than the West Brom versus Portsmouth. I mean, Ryan Mason got a red card, and you can't even blame the guy. You can't even blame the guy because he had two in such a short spell on poor old Hegebo. What does referee have against Hegebo? Because I don't know what he's done, but clearly he's done something. Because initially he gets brought down by, I think it was Ogilvie, for the clearest penalty I've ever seen. Like, completely takes him out as he was about to shoot. No penalty. No penalty. Plays on. Nothing. The fans are already fuming. Ryan Mason's booked for being fuming. And then what happens is, was it a long ball in behind? I don't know who played it in behind. Again, to Hegebo. I don't even know who was pulling him. But Hegebo's getting pulled. His shirt literally got pulled off him. And the referee doesn't do anything. He plays on. Hegebo shoots. It gets blocked. How he hasn't just... I mean, I don't even... It might even be a red card. I think it probably is a red card. I mean, Hegebo's in. He's had his shirt pulled off him. And what on earth is going on? It was the most diabolical refereeing performance I've ever got. And honestly, my thoughts and prayers are with West Brom after that one, because they feel like they've been absolutely robbed, especially that penalty. Ryan Mason sent off, disaster. Another goal contribution for Isaac Price, by the way, as well, getting himself an assist, which is very good. Continue with amazing start to the season. Colby Bishop getting on the score sheet, which is really good for him. But honestly, West Brom, I actually feel for you there. And we've got to talk about Sheffield United as well, because another loss for them. 1-0 loss to Millwall in the match. Kundal getting the goal. And again, Sheffield United, I mean, they definitely could have got a goal. They pressed and they pushed for it. They pushed for an equaliser. But again, it was just a typical Millwall performance. Yeah, Millwall had that game last week where they lost 3-0 to Middlesbrough, and you thought, that's just not like Millwall in the slightest. Well, the Millwall of old were well and truly back. Assist for Ivanovic, goal for Kundal, and another win for Millwall, and another loss for Sheffield United. And you look at the team, I know they're looking that they're bringing in defenders. Tanganga, who didn't actually play today, he's looking like he's going to be signing for Sheffield United, which is a very good signing for Sheffield United. They need to address that backline, which they're definitely doing. Godfrey's come in as well. You look at that starting 11, it's not actually a bad starting 11. I think obviously Tom Cannon continues to struggle, and they spent a lot of money on him. But Ruben Sellers is going to have to... It's going to get to the point where he's going to be under serious pressure. I mean, he already is under serious pressure, let's be real. To be bottom of the league after the first three matches, it's a diabolical start for Sheffield United, who are a team that we really thought would be up there come the end of the season. And you think the longer this goes on, the less points they get. Like, will a club just come in for Gustavo Hamer? Because I'm surprised. I can't see this guy. I mean, I can see him, but I just feel like he shouldn't be playing in the Championship. I know it's maybe his physique, maybe the fact that he's 28, maybe the Premier League club don't think he has that kind of stamina to be playing in the Premier League week in, week out, which might be a valid concern, which might be the one thing that's keeping him at Sheffield United, because this guy is... I feel bad for him. With the team that he's got and the players he's got around him. I mean, they're not bad players, but you just look at what's going on right now. For me, it has Chris Wilder written all over it. Do you know what I mean? Chris Wilder's come back at some point in, November or sometime. Wilder comes back in and steadies the ship, and then they just have a season where, they might even push playoffs or something at the end of it. But Sheffield United right now, you can't be writing them anywhere near automatic promotion the way they're playing right now. When you look at the amount of impressive teams they've been, because Middlesbrough, again, going and picking up another result, a really good win for Middlesbrough. 2-1 win, Finazaz scoring a nice goal, and Tommy Conway as well putting in from close range. Josh Sargent getting another goal, by the way, as well. I think he will be top scorer if he does end up staying at Norwich. But another good win for Middlesbrough, who had that diabolical performance against Doncaster in the cup. But other than that, have been flawless in the league and put in some decent performance. Obviously, I mean, it was against Swansea. It was just a poor performance and a boring game, but a win. really good against Millwall on another day. They definitely rode their luck, but still. And again, I don't think Middlesbrough will be able to last up there. I don't think there'll be any like small automatic promotion race or anything like that. I think they'll be battling for playoffs, but you can't lie, it's been a very impressive start, just a 1 goal conceded. And then you've got other teams in there like Coventry that are just scoring goals for fun. Stoke have been so good as well. Obviously Birmingham City as well have been really impressive so far. Preston getting results. There's so many teams in there that have started the season very well. And it's very exciting to see, as I say, I think this will be a really wide open race in the Championship this season. When you look at these relegated teams in the Premier League struggling so far, you really think it could be a really competitive Championship at all ends of the table. You know, at the top of the table, you might have a really good automatic promotion. As a Championship fan, as a neutral, all you want is a really good automatic promotion race, a battle for the playoffs, and then a big battle for relegation, which I really do think right now, the way that it's looking, we're going to get all three, which is just amazing for the Championship, amazing for entertainment, amazing for viewing, and just amazing for anything. So if you just need to be locking into the Championship this season, because it is going to be a really good season. The signs early on are telling me we've got some dark horses, we've got underperformers, we've got some real poor performances, and we've got underdog stories as well with Sheffield Wednesday and that. So there's so much to love about the Championship this season. I'm absolutely loving it 3 games in. Let me know what you think about your team in the comment section down below. Drop a like down below as well. Let me know your thoughts, as I say, on anything. I'll definitely be interested to get your thoughts. Subscribe as well if you're new around here. It'd be very greatly appreciated. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.